The most powerful man in the world was Caesar Augustus. His army had conquered everyone. They crushed Gaul. They ended the Republic. They owned the Mediterranean. And then a one-eyed African queen from a kingdom most of you have never heard of beat him so badly he signed a peace treaty that lasted a century. Her name was Amanirenas. She ruled the Kingdom of Kush in what is now northern Sudan. Not the Nubia of the Bible stories, the Kush that outlasted Rome itself. At the moment Augustus became emperor in Rome, Kush was 1,200 years old. It had seen empires rise and fall. Egypt was already gone. Carthage was gone. But Kush was still standing. In 25 BC, the Roman governor of Egypt, Aelius Gallus, marched south into Kush with 10,000 soldiers. Rome had just seized Egypt from Cleopatra. They assumed Kush would be easy. They marched into the Kushite city of Napata. They burned it to the ground. They took thousands of slaves. They erected statues of Augustus and left them as symbols of conquest. They had just made the worst mistake of the entire Roman Empire. Amanirenas was Kandake, queen mother, war leader, ruler of Kush. She was blind in one eye from an earlier battle. She did not wait to be conquered. She did not negotiate. She assembled an army of 30,000 Kushite soldiers. Her husband was dead. Her son was a boy. She led the army herself. She struck the Romans at the city of Syene, modern Aswan. The Roman garrison had no idea an army was coming. The Kushites swept out of the desert at dawn. They took Syene. They took the island fortress of Elephantine. They took Philae. They slaughtered every Roman soldier who didn't run. And they did something that would have made every Roman emperor from that day forward enraged. They took the bronze head from the statue of Augustus, and they buried it under the steps of a temple. So that every person who walked into that temple for the rest of eternity would step on the face of the most powerful man in the world. Archaeologists dug that head up in 1910. It's in the British Museum now. They keep it at floor level. Still, a final permanent insult from a queen who knew exactly what she was doing. Augustus was furious. He sent his best general, Petronius, with 12,000 crack troops and orders to erase Kush from the map. The Romans pushed south. But the Kushites didn't fight the way Romans expected. They did not meet in open battle. They melted into the desert. They poisoned the wells. They attacked supply lines. They disappeared into the rocky gorges of the Fourth Cataract, a stretch of river no Roman army had ever survived. Petronius was stuck. He took Napata a second time, burned it again, but the queen was already gone, her army intact in the south. The Romans couldn't hold what they took. Every garrison was attacked. Every supply convoy disappeared. Amanirenas sent envoys to negotiate. She was winning the war, and she knew it. The Romans knew it too. The treaty that ended the war in 21 BC was humiliating for Rome. Augustus canceled all tribute payments from Kush. The Roman border was pulled back north. A buffer zone was created in which Roman troops were forbidden to enter. And Rome returned the treasures they had looted from Napata. No Roman general ever marched south again. Kush remained an independent kingdom for another 300 years, not because Rome was kind, because a one-eyed queen beat them. She is not a household name. There are no statues of her in London or Washington or Rome. You will not find her in most Western school textbooks, but buried in the sands of Sudan, under the steps of a temple in the desert, is the face of Augustus Caesar, resting exactly where she put it. These are the seats of power the world forgot. Next week, we sail across the Indian Ocean to a kingdom so wealthy that a single man's gift of gold crashed an entire continent's economy. Subscribe. You won't want to miss it.